The dining room fell silent the instant the wine hit me. Forks hovered midair, and the clink of silver seemed impossibly loud. My father's hands trembled, frozen from the force of the throw. I sat there, red dripping from my cheek, staring at both of them with a calmness that startled even me. I didn't shout. I didn't run. I just wiped my face on the edge of the tablecloth and whispered, "That was your last mistake." They thought I meant the wine. I didn't. It had been a week of simmering quiet, of unspoken truths. When a text arrived, "Your dad and sister are in big trouble," my reply was simple, "I know. And this is the part no one knows. The part I've kept silent until now. Once I believed in them, my father, my sister. I believed approval could be earned with love, that family meant something unshakable. I defended them stubbornly, foolishly, even as subtle cracks began to appear. When I bought my apartment, Dad called me ambitious, my sister claimed it luck. But even then, I saw her bitterness behind her smile. I tried to be the good daughter, the understanding sister. Those roles never fit, yet I forced myself into them, believing family meant loyalty. I was wrong. It began subtly. My sister appeared unannounced, claiming she needed a place temporarily. One day became 3, 3 became a week became years. She borrowed my clothes, my groceries, my makeup. "Just until I get back on my feet," she said. 3 years. And all the while, my achievements shrank in their eyes, while her failures were excuses everyone nurtured. Then came the pressure, the suggestion, the demand. "Hand the apartment over so your sister can finally start her life," my father said at dinner. My no was quiet but sharp, slicing the room's tension in two. The wine flew. But in that moment, I didn't see a parent. I saw a man defending his favorite, a child who had never earned anything but always received. My sister's smirk confirmed it. This wasn't sudden. It was planned. They thought they had cornered me. They didn't know I'd been preparing. When the wine hit me, something shut off inside. Precise, controlled. I smiled at them as chaos unfurled. Gasps, napkins, whispers. My sister muttered, "You deserved that." I didn't defend myself. I didn't retaliate. I memorized every face, every careless admission, every hint of arrogance. Revenge was not my aim. Justice was. I started quietly, boundaries disguised as generosity. I offered my sister a trial stay while I considered transferring ownership. She thought she had won. Dad praised my maturity. Meanwhile, I recorded everything: threats, insults, admissions. My sister bragged about not paying rent. My father admitted he had pressured me financially. Her evasion of debt notices, using my apartment as her legal residence, came to light. I contacted the collections agency myself. Her debts were far larger than anyone knew. The agency was eager to locate her actual residence and assets, which could now be seized. Next, I ensured Dad's employer received an anonymous report with audio recordings. Not illegal, but enough to provoke scrutiny, enough to make him panic. They wanted war. I provided documentation, meticulously, legally, with perfect timing. When investigators and collectors appeared, Dad called me first, frantic, demanding answers. I looked at my reflection, calm, unshaken. "Yes," I said, "just that." My sister followed with messages, long paragraphs, all caps, begging, screaming. "You ruined my life," she typed. I replied simply, no emotion. "You did." People think revenge is loud, dramatic, explosive. Mine was patient, measured, surgical. Every move calculated, every record secured, every step leading to balance restored. That week, I reviewed every detail, every slip of their pride. I realized the true cost of enabling failure, of favoring one over another. My father's obsession with appearances, my sister's exploitation, all left them blind to my patience, blind to the meticulous preparation I had woven like a spiderweb. And when their world started to collapse, they could only grasp at straws, seeing chaos without understanding the design. I hadn't just defended myself. I had rewritten the rules of engagement. They underestimated me because they assumed compliance, assumed fear, assumed familial loyalty was stronger than principle. I had taken all those assumptions and turned them into evidence, into leverage, into quiet domination. And now, as they scrambled to protect themselves from the consequences they never saw coming, I remained untouched, whole, triumphant in a silent way no one could contest. It wasn't about vindictiveness. It was about justice precise, calculated, inevitable. My father's control, my sister's entitlement, both dismantled without a shout. And I sat there, finally, as I had always wanted, not as the good daughter, not as the accommodating sister, but as myself, sovereign, unflinching, unbound. The silence that had once filled the room with fear now became a testament to my resolve. Quiet, patient, surgical, and entirely mine. Revenge, I learned, doesn't need chaos. It doesn't need explosions or dramatic gestures. It needs preparation, timing, precision, and patience. Most importantly, it requires understanding the enemy intimately, knowing their weaknesses, and never showing fear. My father and sister had thought they could corner me, manipulate me, break me. Instead, they discovered, far too late, that patience can be more terrifying than rage. That justice, when calculated, is unstoppable. And I finally had it. By the time investigators left and the collectors returned, I was calm, collected, whole. They expected fury. They received calm. They expected desperation. They found strategy. And I knew, as they realized the consequences of their actions, that my quiet had spoken louder than any scream ever could. I had won not through chaos, but through precision. Not through anger, but through patience. And above all, through understanding that revenge, quiet and measured, is more terrifying than any shout. Justice, I discovered, is not loud. It is inevitable. Word count, 900.